What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I hope everybody's had a great weekend. You know, it's kind of crazy because 3 weeks from tonight, or from today, we'll be just getting back from the NFL draft. And the draft is all we have to look forward to as Dallas Cowboys fans. You know, Mike McCarthy said he believes like the team has improved over the last few weeks and things. And I know people are going to say, you're crazy. Mike McCarthy, he's just literally drinking the Kool-Aid and putting on a brave face. But you know, Mike McCarthy is like a cat, and a cat has 9 lives. It's funny because after the 2020 season where we had Dak Prescott get injured, we ended up 6-10. We had Andy Dalton, we had Ben DiNucci, the Nooch, drafted. Things were just terrible. We heard people saying Mike McCarthy was going to be one and done. He was going to be on the hot seat and so on. And when they didn't fire him, of course, they said that this is, NFC Championship or else, basically. And we've heard this story over and over and over again. And the thing that's crazy about this is each one of the years have been all identical. Identical. As far as the Cowboys' offseason moves. Now, people will say the Cowboys have holes all over the place. Well, I don't want to give the Joneses a pass. I don't want to be here to be defending the Joneses. But we had deficiencies last year and somehow won 12 games. We have I want to say that the Cowboys, out of nowhere, end up having players. When you think about this for a second. In 2020, Lyle Collins, he had gotten his new contract with the Cowboys and things, and was a standout, right tackle for the Cowboys and stuff. And he came to training camp, which was the COVID year, and he was a little bit heavy, and he had a hip injury. He was also in a car accident, and ended up not playing for that year. Now, that year was crazy because training camp was shortened. It was, keep your distance and everything else, and there were no preseason games. You had guys who were drafted who got to the NFL city that they're going to be in, and they're meeting by computers. They couldn't go to a weight room to work out. You saw guys in the garage lifting weights and things. And so for Terrence Steele to come in as an undrafted rookie free agent, he was sleeping on somebody's couch, not having a gym to go out and work in, not being able to go and have the OTAs and things. And he played his rookie year, and he looked like ass. And I remember people saying, man, somebody pushed him off the bridge. But his second year, he came through and played great. This is a guy who wasn't drafted, who had no training camp. And he, out of nowhere, because we looked at this and said, oh my God, what are we going to do at right tackle? People said, go out, you need to get a free agent. And they said, no, we got this. With Terrence Steele. And Terrence Steele has played great up until him getting his ACL torn and then coming back last year. Hopefully he returns to form. But I believe he's the only offensive lineman who played every game last year. So there's that. And so when we got rid of Randy Gregory, and here's what I want you to think about for a second. As we opine for everybody, making all these grandiose moves and things, and we're mad because the Cowboys haven't done anything, I want you to think about the Denver Broncos, who went out and they said, we're going to get ourselves a quarterback. They got Russell Wilson. But they also paid $75 million for Randy Gregory. And we as a fan base were like, oh my God, how are you going to go ahead and make it without Randy Gregory? They joked us for not making that deal to get him. In the same way they joked us about the year before when we didn't give up a number one to get Brandon Cooks during the season. Just saying. Same way they joked us about drafting Travis Frederick, moving back in the draft, drafting him and picking up Terrence Williams. They joked us and said they don't know what they're doing. But here's the thing. Stephen Jones said, Randy Gregory is right. Said Dorrance Armstrong is right there in production like Randy Gregory. And people laughed and said, he's crazy. You're a nut. And it turns out he was actually better than Randy Gregory. And so now everybody's talking about, all the talent that's gone through. They work with these guys every day. The talking heads out there, they're making these calls. They don't know. They don't know what the Cowboys see. They don't know what their projections are. I think that Sam Williams is going to be an important piece in here to replace Dornstrong. I believe that Golston, these are guys who couldn't get on the field because we had so many guys. And when you think about having the veteran that you say, hey, I got this veteran, I trust him and this, that, and the other, you don't often let the young guy get out there, and you find out when you do that these guys are better. And so losing at least the edge, I actually feel the edge isn't as bad as what people think. It's certainly not as bad as what we thought when we drafted Taco Charlton. Because that was before DeMarcus Lawrence had his big year. People were looking and kind of whispering saying, well, maybe D-Law's a bust. Because he had one good season. His first season, he had 2 sacks in the playoffs against the Lions. His second season, he had 8. The next season, he was suspended for PEDs and had 1 sack, and people were like, oh my God, we ain't got anybody to rush the passer. And it turned out D-Law exploded that year. So I say, just hold up and wait. The Cowboys have been better than probably anybody else with these bottom tier free agents and making them into players. People didn't want Malik Hooker. He was coming off injury. People didn't want J-Ron Kearse. People didn't want Dante Fowler. People certainly didn't want Dorrance Armstrong over Randy Gregory. And if you're Mike McCarthy, who now has the team, has this offense in his style of play calling for the second year, now he can open up more of this. Now he's got Brandon Cooks, who's been here. Now this is starting his second year. Now he's got his quarterback, Dak Prescott, who's understanding, who, mind you, I want you to remember that the first 3-4 games, the offense was ass, and didn't turn it around until the second half of the season. And with that, Dak had 36 TDs, 4,400 yards, and only 9 interceptions without a running game. And as crazy as it sounds, we didn't really have an effective running game. If the Cowboys do end up bringing back Zeke and he ends up being the bruising back, and they end up drafting one of the top backs in, say, the second or third round, and they get an offensive lineman, a good offensive lineman, you can look at this offense and say, it's really going to be good. CD had that breakout year. Brandon Cooks, look for him to take another step this year. And Jake Ferguson, Fergie, is on the precipice of being one of the top tight ends in football. It takes time with tight ends. They don't come out the box and are Travis Kelce. Okay, they just don't. They take years to develop that. And I actually feel that a Schoonmaker heals up real quick from his surgery and gets his opportunities of having a whole offseason, that he can be a good number 2 tight end. And so I don't have the doom and gloom. And I think I actually have to agree with Mike McCarthy. People are laughing and saying, oh, we're going to be losers. We're going to be a 4-win team. I'm not going to watch. I'm done with this team. You know, just relax. It's going to be what it's going to be. And with that being said, I'm done here, good people. You know, when I was at the store today, you know, somebody asked me, they said, how's your day? And you know what I always say when somebody asks me how my day is? I say, any day that I can get up and get out of bed is a good day. Because everything else that happens after that, I can deal with. Because I got my health to be able to get out of bed. And that's the honest way that I look at life. Everything else is just a problem to solve. And I love solving problems. Yeah, it was good. It started off kind of funny because I thought this morning when I was laying in bed that I heard a boom. I was like, what is that? I guess maybe one of the neighbors hit a trash can or something behind, you know, the road behind us. And my wife had gotten up to go take care of her mother and had left. And she said, there's police cars and fire engines and stuff behind the house. And I look outside and I see the telephone pole literally hanging by the power poles. Somebody hit and severed the telephone pole. And so the power company came, and I'm watching them work on this thing, and it was literally, they had 3 bucket trucks. It was like a delicate dance. You know, one picked up the pole and dropped it in the hole, and got another guy who's up in here, and he's got the pole, and zzz, you know, it's like a lightning bolt between the rod things. I was going to videotape it. He said, bro, please don't tape. He said, if it goes out on social media, I could lose my job. And so I was like, okay, no problem. I said, good thing you said something, because I would have certainly popped it on to YouTube. But they fixed that telephone pole, and me and the wife were outside working on the yard, you know, weed eating everything and moving the rocks and getting rid of the poison ivy and things and making it look a lot better because the weather was nice. And I had a chance to do my live streams, and I have something. Got something today that I don't know if it's going to be something or not. And if it is something, it could be huge. I'm going to leave it just right there. And we'll see. I've got some work to do on it, but it's something that could be truly a game changer for all of us. And with that being said, I see I've out-talked the flames. And remember, good people, remember to tell the people you love how much you love them, because you might not get the chance again. And I love you guys so much. And make sure you let everybody else know how you feel. God willing, see you early in the morning. I need to get out early tomorrow because I need to go work on that farmhouse, but I want to be back in time to see the eclipse. I think we're like at 83%. Now, if you're in like Dallas, you're going to be 100%, but there may be some rain, so you might not see it. So I don't know. I mean, I could probably go, if I drove about 5 hours west or 5 hours north, I think we would actually get the whole kit and caboodle, but I ain't got that kind of time tomorrow. I ain't got that kind of time. Anyway, I'll see you guys soon. Peace out.